All right, guys, so let's talk about how to actually optimize your campaign. So again, we're going to use one from my actually selling my Amazon FBA course just because I have a lot of data on it and a ton of different ad accounts. The idea is the same. I could never, again, show you exactly how to do it for your specific product, but the idea is the same. So let's talk about first, we'll go into this one. So we're going to do webinar leads. So this means that we're actually like looking for completed registrations or email signups. So if you're running a Facebook ad campaign where the goal is to get people's emails, obviously you would be optimizing for the results of that, right? The completed registrations. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at kind of what these cost per registrations were. So we're going to organize it by the lowest. So we see that some of these are absolutely insane, like $48 per registration. So we would immediately pause this one. We would pause, it looks like all of these because we have some that are much cheaper. $9 is still a little bit high. For registrations and for emails, you're looking for generally between, $0 and up to $3 if you have a really competitive niche. Obviously, internet marketing is very competitive, so I would probably turn off a lot of these and maybe leave on this one. So this looks like we got the most registrations here. So our lookalike audience from July 27th looks to be performing the best. So we're going to leave this one on, and then we might, up the actual spend for this specific one after we pause all these others. And so if our goal is to optimize for registrations or leads or emails, that's kind of how we do it. But if we're looking for retargeting, then probably our goal here would really be purchases. So instead of optimizing for cost per result, which would be like cost per link click or something like that, what we'd instead be curious about is website purchases. So it looks like website purchases is actually not shown here in the columns, which is a perfect segue into how to customize. So what we can do is, we can optimize for a bunch of different stuff here, video engagement, carousel engagement. Realistically, the best way to do this is just to come straight into customized columns. So you have to think about what is the purpose of your ad campaign. If it's to get emails, is it to get sales? Is it to get people to your website at all? If it's, you have to decide what you actually want to take a look at, because if it's just to get people to your website, then you want to optimize for link clicks. You want your link clicks to be as low as possible because every person who clicks on your link goes to your website. So you're optimizing for link click and you want it to be as low as possible. If you want to optimize for purchases, then obviously we have to come in here and take a look at what is kind of happening. So realistically, the best way to do this is kind of under conversion. So if we go to website conversions, we're going to add here website purchases. And so for Shopify, we're lucky because Shopify and Facebook have an agreement and they set it up like through software where it's going to automatically track all of your content views. It's going to track all of your ad payment method. It's going to track all of your purchases for you. And so if you click into conversions here and website purchases and press apply, then all of a sudden we're going to have a new column called website purchases. So now we see that this particular, okay, so this is a great example. So this is the cheapest link click. So if this was a campaign to actually get emails or to get people onto our site at all, just website visitors in general, then this would be the best result. But since this is a retargeting campaign, and what we want from a retargeting campaign is actual real purchases, once we have pixel data to play with, we're not concerned about getting people to our website anymore. What we are concerned about is getting purchases, the bottom line profit, right? And so instead of sorting by cost per link click, which we would do for registrations or emails like for the webinar like we discussed, we're going to instead sort by website purchases. And so if we want the most purchases because every time you get a purchase, it's additional profit, obviously. And so now we see that there are 65 purchases here, and I'm gonna hide some of this just because I can't really see what's going on. And you can customize your columns here by removing some of them, but I'm just gonna do it because it's faster. Actually, I guess I'll show you just because it's we want to learn here. So what we can do is we can just, get rid of some of these. We don't need all of this. They have a ton of things that you can actually optimize for. It's like, honestly, like almost unbelievable the amount of customization you can really kind of get going here. So we're going to apply this. And now we can actually see our website purchases column. So we see that this was $1 per click. This is only 86 cents per click. So normally somebody might say, well, this one's more expensive, so maybe I'll pause it. But what do we see here? We see that 65 purchases came from this campaign when 0 came from the one with the least, or excuse me, with the cheapest per link click. So we're gonna pause this one because we're getting cheap link clicks, but those people aren't converting. They aren't actually purchasing. And what we would do then is we would scale up this one. We see that people who visited the order form from advertising with Facebook feeds as the placement. We see this is Instagram feeds. We see this is Facebook feeds, just right here in the title. What we would do then is we would pause some of these. This only has one purchase, and we spent $200 here. We've only spent $257 on this one. We have 65 times more results than one that spent $219. So that, guys, is the magic of optimization. You won't know until you test, right? We want to test as much as we possibly can. We want to split test. We want to try men. We want to try women in their own section. We want to try, people who are 25 to 34. We want to try people who are 35 to 44. We want to try all of these different segments and split tests and all of these different things. We want to do that just so we can actually review the data, because, you can be a Facebook ads expert, but until you actually, see the results, see the true data, see the pixel data, you can't make proper decisions without seeing the data. Because I've had ads that I thought were going to be the best ads ever, and they were going to perform great, and I spent a ton of time on the copy, and they performed like crap. And I've had ads that I put no time into, it had a picture that I just got off Unsplash super quickly, and just typed a random thing into the title, and they've performed fantastic. So it's very, very difficult, even for people who are as familiar with Facebook ads as myself, to actually be able to predict what all the people out there in the internet world are actually going to do. So that's the importance of creating a bunch of tests and then just coming in here, guys, and really starting to understand the data, because it just depends what you're trying to optimize for. Like we already discussed, but I just want to repeat it and kind of summarize just so it really tries to sink in. If we are optimizing for website purchases, which we often will be once we have some pixel data, once we have some people who've been to our site, then we just come down to conversions here, website, and we want to show website purchases. If we want to try to optimize for website leads, maybe we're trying to get the cheapest emails we can to build an email list of people who are interested in golf, then maybe we want to see the column for website leads and optimize for that. And when I say optimize for that, guys, I mean choose the cheapest option, right? The cheapest link clicks if you're trying to get traffic, the cheapest purchases if you're trying to get purchase, and you can just organize that very easily by clicking the column, and it'll tell you kind of the cost per result. And so that is kind of the summary of optimizing ad campaigns, guys. And if you have any questions, obviously just post it in the private group. It's going to be a family, I promise. There's going to be tons of very helpful people. I'm going to be in there a ton as well. And so that is kind of your summary of how to optimize Facebook ads for whatever you're trying to do. For Shopify, again, it's normally going to be purchases, but first you got to get the people to your website to have that pixel data to even be able to optimize. So the moral of the story, guys, is test, and test some more, and then you just come in here and really start to interpret the results. And so I hope that helped, guys, and we will see you on the next one.